Hi everybody, my name is Utami Diah Kusumawati, but you can simply call me Utami. I'm a Fulbright scholar from Jakarta, Indonesia. At UNL, I'm taking Master of Arts in Professional Journalism as my major. Now I would like to explain a little bit of my country. So where is Indonesia? Indonesia is located in Southeast Asia, next to Singapore, Malaysia, and Philippines. It consists of many islands, and its biggest islands, including Sumatra, Borneo, or Kalimantan, which is famous for its endangered species of orangutan or the great apes, Java Island, which is quite popular for its coffee bean, Celebes, or Sulawesi. You can find a lot of beautiful mountains there. Maluku, Papua, and one of the little dots over here is Bali. And I lived at Jakarta, which is the capital city of Indonesia. It's a crowded city with lots of skyscrapers and heavy traffic jam everywhere. So, sorry. I have worked as a journalist, contributor, as well as freelance writer in several media companies in Indonesia, including CNN Indonesia. I joined with CNN Indonesia in 2014 when it first opened its branch in Indonesia. Prior to that, I worked as a journalist for the Jakarta Post, which is an English written printed newspaper in Indonesia. I also worked as a contributor or freelance writer for Esquire Indonesia and Salihara Art Center, which was founded by one of the most prominent Indonesian author and former journalist Gunawan Muhammad. And this is a picture of the working ambience at the CNN Indonesia's office during a music performance. This was my desk at that time I was writing. So far, I had covered several issues such as human rights and social welfare and justice. These two are my specialties. I also covered a little bit of politics since I had been stationed at the presidential palace. I also wrote occasionally about arts and culture. And this picture tells about a young domestic female worker from Indonesia. She is underage and she lived in poverty. We can find many of these young women in small villages in Indonesia. I covered this story as a part of my journalistic fellowship given by the International Labour Organizations and the Independent Journalist Alliance in Indonesia. And this picture tells about female workers picked up shallots in harvest time at Brebes, Central Java. So at that time, the Indonesian government tried to upgrade the technology and the marketing system to help farmers to sell their agricultural products. So I wrote an in-depth stories on that matter at that time. And this pictures tells us about the Indonesian's cabinet meeting at the presidential palace. And this is the current Indonesian's President Joko Widodo. And some people say that covering an event at the presidential palace might be a bit boring because you have to wait all the time at the press room for a conference or seminars or meeting. But for me personally, it is quite interesting because you can meet many notable guests that the president will meet. And you can also experience in front of your eyes whenever the president gets angry or gets a bit disappointed with his ministry's performances. That is the thing that you will not see if you don't cover at the presidential palace. Besides the journalists, besides being a journalist, I also have published several books. These are the books that I have written, translated, or edited in Bahasa Indonesia or in Indonesian language. And this picture, it was my first moment of having like a book launching as a part of my novel writing fellowship, which was given by the Jakarta Arts Center. And this is one of my short story. My passions, of course, writing. And I also love to talk with local people and to have like a diverse perspectives on life. And in fact, my biggest inspirations are my sources because they teach me a lot of things and views on life, and that's also, and they help me to grow, to become a more humble, wiser, and tolerant person. One word to describe best myself is spirited. And one of the songs that I love so much is Soul by Alif. Alif is the first words in Arabic, and Alif is actually a musician from Greece, Athens. So here's a bit of the music if you want to know. Okay, so what I hope to get from this class is to know more about the strategy to make media industries more sustained. In my country, we are dealing with lots of layoffs, and many media companies, big and non-mainstream, started to close down. Journalists stop being a journalist, they shift career into something else like public relations or government employees because they feel this industry does not give certainty for their future. I hope that I can learn several solutions that can be implemented to deal with this kind of problems. I think that's all from me, and thank you.